literally, I didn't know like it was a title for this thing that I've been struggling with, like, and I didn't know like maybe it could have been depressing or like just a down feeling, ever since maybe like as far as I can remember back, but just really noticing it around 16 years old. And that's like anxiety around my birthday. And it's not anxiety like I'm dying or like, I'm freaking out. It's more of like decisions that I'm going to make, based on irrational emotions that I'm experiencing. Because most of the time I feel like I have to perform something or I have to do something to prove my worth, or I'm seeking validation in some type of form or format. And yes, I'm being very vulnerable. Shit. So my birthday is coming up. My birthday is actually next weekend, is May 2nd. And every time my birthday comes around, I have like a I don't know what kind of feeling to call it. I just know it's like some pressure, like pressure to perform, pressure to say I did something, pressure to prove that I'm a different person than I was last year. Almost kind of like a New Year's resolution, like New Year, New Me is like, and some people consider their birthdays to be the start of their new year, and it's very hard for me. I remember 2 years ago, well, 2024, when I was in my apartment by myself, I didn't want to speak to nobody. I didn't want to do anything with nobody. I didn't have no trust. I have grown a lot, y'all. Like, seriously, like, far as in, like, opening up myself, far as in stop smoking weed, far as in just really reflecting it and seeing who Shamar is. Like, 2 years ago, I was in my apartment by myself with the lights off. Like, I bought myself New York cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. I can't, what kind, I think it was red velvet cheesecake, and I was in there with the neon lights and the dark, and I had like what was it like a half, I had a half of weed by myself, and I was just sitting there smoking. And now that I think about it, that's some really lonely shit. And in that moment, I was what I believed to be at that time happy. I had told myself, like, if I'm alone and I just have my projects and things that I'm working on, I'm going to get through this day. I'm doing one of my favorite activities at the time, and everything's cool. But I just want to name some things that really have been like sticking out to me. It's just like invisible deadlines that I feel like I have to meet. It's things that I want to have done on my YouTube channel that really take way more time than what I'm trying to do. And I was stressing myself out trying to complete these deadlines before, my birthday came. Because I wanted to take a huge break, during my birthday. And that goes back into the integrity video that I was making. Like, you can't say one thing and then be doing a whole nother, because then you're just living a lie. And so that was like last week, and some of my sentiments are still the same when talking about like birthday anxiety. And today is Tuesday, my birthday is on Saturday, and I just want to clarify a couple things. I wasn't raised with like a silver spoon in my mouth, so I didn't get to have like extravagant birthdays all the time, but they did count, for what it was. And I'm a Taurus, and by no means is this any excuse, but like Taurus can be materialistic, and I know I can too. Like, I like gorgeous things, I like expensive things, I like expensive trips, and just all in all, I can be materialistic, but I try not to be, especially if it's not on my dime. And it's a lot of things where I got my hopes up for certain things to happen, and it wasn't even materialistic. Like, it wasn't materialistic basically, and people that I depended on couldn't even provide the things that I was simply asking for. And slowly over time, I kept getting let down. And if you keep being let down over and over again on one of the most special days that you think to yourself, then it's very hard to like not internalize it being your fault, especially when it started in childhood. And as a child, like, I was traumatized like a lot. Like, I just wasn't a happy kid. I got bullied a lot, like bullied severely, and it's too many counts that just to name in this one video. All I can say now is maybe in some future videos I'll talk about some of the things that I internalized and I'm working towards unraveling today. But let's just say that's one of the reasons why I came to social media. And yes, this is kind of going beyond birthday anxiety, because this is kind of like rippling of all my anxiety, but specifically around my birthday time, because that's when I start wanting to seek validation the most. Ooh, I'm telling y'all my secrets. But I mean, somebody got to be honest about it. I know somebody who's out here that's going through this, and I hope that I'm speaking to you and you can find something within this. I know that for myself, this is freeing. And I can just recall a moment, like especially during like high school. I went to Mays High School in Atlanta, and if you know, like being in that area, people in that area had money. So like I'm smart, people will come to school with balloons, cupcakes, and limousines, and wearing five fits and all this kind of stuff. And I was never one of those kids who had fire fits. I didn't. I was one of those kids who had thrift store clothes, who had, New Balances or whatever you think is not. I didn't have the Jordans, the KDs, or the Nikes and the Uggs and all that stuff when it was popular. I didn't have that stuff. So as a child, yes, I became a little envious about having those things. As I got older, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this for my birthday. I'm gonna have this for my birthday, because as a child, I never fed those needs in order to fulfill whatever was broken inside of me that felt like I wasn't enough, or that the day wasn't that big. It turned into performing and doing all this stuff just to receive a happy birthday from someone, or to receive love from someone, or feeling like begging for somebody. And really it happened too, because another reason was because I was in a relationship with somebody who broke my heart on my birthday. And I'm lying, we weren't even in a relationship. I feel like we were just okay friends, and I wanted more. I get into a lot of situations where I want more from relationships than what that person wanted from me. And I try to tell myself, well, you're sabotaging those relationships. You're wanting to end the relationship. Now I do that. Now I self sabotage relationships, because I've had so much experience in my past to where people just didn't mean me no good, and that's just what it is. I didn't mean myself no good. I was depressed. I was sad because of a numerous of things, and I didn't know how to deal with that grief of expecting things that people could not do for me, and not having internal happiness. And that performance, I feel like I've crafted myself so much to where I won't lack anything, in forms of like speech, education. Even though I still do slip up and stutter sometimes when I'm trying to find the right words. And I critique myself very hard for like certain things I do in videos that's not purposeful. But I'm very hard on myself sometimes, because I know what can happen in the future when people look back on these videos, and judgment can be really hard for someone who wants to be a celebrity or who wants celebrity status. So I guide my words and I guide myself a certain type of way, because of course everyone, when you get on video, you don't want to embarrass yourself. You want to sound educated, or whatever your purpose is, to entertain. You want to be the best. So I don't want people to think like, oh, I'm trying to hide something, or I'm trying to be something that I'm not. It's just, I've been called things before that crafted who I am to this day. To not be all those things that I told myself I was, that I got from other people, because I was, like I said, looking for validation. So I accepted treatment from people that I know I didn't deserve, but I wanted those people in my life. And I know somebody feels that. It was just, I was so alone, because I didn't know how to deal with my queer side. People didn't respect me loving women and men, respecting, all people of the LGBTQIA community. And people just, what they don't understand, they attack to me, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to just say, okay, or just, well, we're going to have to agree to disagree to walk away. I always felt like, okay, if I disagree with this person that I really truly love, and love can be platonic or romantic, but most of the times platonic. If I really do love this person and I disagree with them, I'm going to have consequences, and they're going to walk out of my life. And I always had harsh, like, how some people say you either real to the left or real to the right. And so I had very harsh judgment on like what people would do or could do to me that could break my heart, and I was protecting myself all along. So I got into the people pleasing thing to keep people around me. So that's just me. And all in all, I just want to say I'm still growing. I'm not perfect. I may try to craft videos to where my speech is perfect, the angles are perfect, and so much so forth. But that's just who I am. That's who I've crafted myself to be professional, because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to look back at this and be like, wow. So I just want to tell those people out there who have crafted themselves to perform in a certain type of way, and this may be any way that you don't. That could be performing at your job. That can be performing in front of your kids. That could be performing in front of your parents, in-laws, all those things, siblings. If you have to do something outside yourself because you're afraid that you're gonna lose that person, I just am I just want to give you the advice to not do that. Don't sacrifice your happiness for somebody else's happiness. Like, you have to be happy first. You have to put yourself here first. Remember, you came and you was birthed on this planet by yourself. You're gonna leave by yourself. So I even to this day I'm still learning to not people please and not to argue for just having pointless arguments when it's just not even worth it, you know. So I am growing so much more than what I used to be, because I can see myself now. I'll be having a conversation and it's like, if this is not serving me, and it's not like in a narcissistic way, it's just like, if the conversation is not going nowhere, we're not talking about anything that can help both of us, I'd rather it be short. You get what I'm saying? And it's not that I hate you or I don't like you. It's just I cannot keep entertaining stuff that's not bettering me. You know, and that goes along with my birthday anxiety. Like, if I know, like, I have to have a certain type of quota in my bank account, and I just shared this Iyanla Van Zant video where she was talking about spiritual hygiene and about your finance and all that kind of stuff. You cannot, if you make a promise to yourself, like I said about making these YouTube videos and all this kind of stuff, and pressuring myself to complete these goals by my birthday, and knowing, you know, that they can't be completed by that because it was an unrealistic amount of time. And that's the stuff that I be doing. I always be like, I don't give myself the grace to be able to uh complete my task in a right amount of time. I'm always so, I need to get it done, I need to get it done, I need to get it done, I need to get it done. And it's like, Shamar, like, you're not gonna die tomorrow, Lord willing. You know, like, you will have time to complete it. And I've said this in a multitude. I've said this in multiple videos. Let's look up the definition of multitude. What's the definition of multitude?
Multitude means a large number.
Yeah, so I said it in multiple videos, you know, of me just overachieving to I don't know, maybe fulfill like a hole in my heart or chest or something about not being good enough. And so this year I'm not finna do that on my birthday. I'm not finna over splurge. I'm not finna over people please, or because somebody don't want to do something that I want to do on my birthday, you know, or complain or do something stupid on my birthday instead of celebrating me because it's my day, when I can celebrate you on your day. No matter if you're annoying, getting on my motherfucking nerves or whatever, it's your day, so we respect you and your wishes and what you want to do. You know, I just have to get over that, you know, and celebrate myself. That's one thing that I want to say. Out of all that smoking weed and all that kind of stuff in the house by myself, I was celebrating myself, you know. And I feel like God gives you different steps in your life for you to celebrate yourself, for you to understand who you really are. And I feel like now I'm more ready. He prepared me to go out with friends or do more things instead of just isolating myself, you know, or being to myself, not wanting to be around anybody. You know, I spent a long time alone. And sometimes I still do, because like I said, I crafted that person of, I can do this by myself. I don't need nobody. So it's very hard for me to still come out of the shell because I get nervous as hell around people. So all in all, I'm saying I'm growing, but these things that I'm inflicting, like not trying to force myself to reach goals and dates, although, you know, we still gonna try to meet goals and dates, but give myself grace. Like, you know, I'm human. Humans make mistakes. Humans take more time to do stuff. You fall sick. You get, you know, different things happen. You know, so yeah, just give myself grace on them dates, and learn how to manage my money correctly. Although I do have some tips, and when I say manage my money correctly, I was preaching about using one bank account for this situation. I got 4 bank accounts. I don't need to be spending money out of all my bank accounts. That's just foolish. Like, why do that? You know, to prove to who? For likes and views? For what? So yeah. And there was one more thing I probably was supposed to be talking about. That's another thing. Like, I try to make sure I write things down because I can get, you know, off track sometimes. Oh, and authenticity. Just being okay with whatever people want to think. Like, that's another thing. Like, I have a big problem with trying to, I guess probably how y'all infer, trying to be perfect or not be portrayed in a bad light. And it's just like, you gonna see me however you see me. No matter how much I try to put in your face or say that I'm this, I'm that. If you want to believe that I'm whatever, then that's what I am to you. But all I'm saying, all in all, to finish out this video, I'm growing. I'm not perfect, you know. And I'm sorry that some of this stuff seems scripted or whatnot. But it's my ideas organized. And the only way that I'm going to get better by having public speaking or making better content is by, organizing my thoughts, writing them down, and preparing myself, practicing. So I'm gonna have a wonderful birthday this weekend. I am. I have some plans, and if it all don't go right, I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna crash out. And one thing I'm not gonna do is isolate. I'm gonna be surrounded by love. I'm gonna give love, and it's gonna be a good welcome to 26 years old. And I'm so proud of the person I. Ooh, no. I'm very proud of the person that I am now. I am. And I'm going to end the video there because I didn't even expect to really tear up and cry. But I'm just so proud of myself, Shamar. I'm so proud of you. All right. I hope if your birthday's in May, you're a Taurus gang. Happy birthday. If your birthday already passed, happy birthday to all of you. And I hope you can take something from this video. If nobody told you all year, all month, all week, all day, I love you. And I will see you in the next video. I guess it wouldn't be right if I didn't say like, comment, subscribe, follow, share with your mom and dad, your uncle, your uncle, auntie, okay? Hype this video, do all those things, algorithm things. I'll be back and I'll see you again. Bye, y'all.